Well, here we are, team. Friday after.
Hello, thank God it's Friday.
TGIF, like, holy shit.
Oh, what a week.
Yeah, what a week. Talk me through your
What a
week.
week. Oh, busy as it is. It's just awesome.
We don't talk like that, do we?
No, we love it. We love it. We love it. No, love being busy, and after a few years of being pretty quiet and not busy, it's awesome.
Yes,
it's really awesome. Hey, Brady.
So talk it,
Happy Friday.
Holy shit, straight on, no mucking around. So talk me through it, love. Let's go today. What are we talking about?
We're talking about what are you fighting for? What are you fighting for? Actually came about from a post that I read this week that I thought was really pertinent, and it made me think about a lot of different things that I see and hear, and what people focus on, and what they spend a lot of their energy and time on. And I just believe that a lot of people could have a different focus, and they're fighting for the wrong things. And I really think it's worth talking about.
Fighting for the wrong things.
They are fighting for the wrong things.
That's pretty serious.
It is. You know, I see a lot of people who get tied up in energy draining things on Facebook or in personal life, and I think people's focus needs to be on fighting for more positive things to happen in their life, and I really think it's worth talking about, because
I like that.
I don't know, I just think so much energy is wasted on menial things that you can't control. And I'm in a situation at the moment with fighting, and I've had to just keep taking check of not thinking too far ahead, not overthinking, and using my energy to fight for things that are just not in my control.
Right.
And when you change your focus to put it out to the universe or God or whoever you believe in. Glenn,
he's going to make an appearance today, he says.
Where are you, Glenn? You were still going to come up.
And we got Shelley Holes on, hearing the message loud and clear. Danny Rose.
Ray is on. Who did we miss up here?
John Sarotti.
Oh, yeah. Shelley.
Ray. And Harry Cheryl Lambert's all the way to Sydney.
Hey, John. Oh, God, is it hot down there? Honestly, it's so muggy today. It is. It's very hot. So we can't fight the weather, though. So let's leave the weather be. See, nice. That's a good example.
So what I'm hearing, girl, is that in your mind, and I suppose it's true, that people focus on little things that really are either too trivial, that don't make a difference, that aren't sort of game changers, really. Yes, we spend our time worrying about the little stuff.
And I think this probably, this is really a culmination of a lot of things we've already spoken about in the past. We talk a lot about worrying about what everyone else thinks of you and trying to please people. And if you're fighting to make somebody in your life like you or to please them, and they're really toxic in your life. And I think the biggest thing with having toxic people in your life is you have to come to that BFO moment, which is
What's a BFO?
BFO is the blinding flash of the obvious. So I like the old BFO.
Blinding flash of the obvious, or is there another word for that?
Blinding flash of the obvious. But you have to realise yourself that they are actually toxic for you, or to have them in your life.
So how do you come to that realisation?
Well, I think it's just recognising what you're like when you're around them, how you react, how you behave. Do you bend over backwards to try and please them? Do you go out of your way? Do you constantly get a negative reaction from them? Are they a person who constantly is wanting something from you but doesn't return the same? You have people in your life that just constantly message you, and Barb and I talk about this sometimes, where you have people constantly message you and they just throw all their problems at you. They never, and they might just, as a flippant comment, ask how are you?
Just because they feel they should.
Yeah, and they don't even respond to your reply, sort of in a way. Did you just steal your drink with your sunglasses? No. VIDIQ's on today. Hey, Danny. And
do they add value to your life?
That's right.
I think that's the question.
Do they actually add value?
And the challenge is to be self-aware, right? Because when we spend time with people, we actually experience an emotional state, right?
We do.
People either lift us, they actually help us feel better emotionally, or they help us feel not better emotionally.
Exactly.
And I think it's being aware of that, and and putting the other stuff aside. Some people have a problem with every solution. Absolutely, mate.
That's exactly right, John. And the other thing,
they've got a problem for every solution.
Oh, they do. And I truly believe, and this is where you have to recognise this in people, I truly believe there are some people that absolutely thrive on drama. They thrive. Everything's got to be negative, dramatic, and they can be really exhausting.
They are. Oh, what do you mean can be?
But I just don't know. But you have to recognise that there's something missing in their life for them to actually thrive on drama.
And so you're nearly feeling sorry for them, is what I'm hearing.
Well, you need to recognise what do they actually bring, what value, like John said, what value are they actually bringing to your life? And, you always have the absolute 100% decision as to whether you allow those people in your life. And it doesn't mean cut people out altogether. It just means you have to choose what value they bring and how much time you're prepared to invest in that relationship.
Can I tell you something? And you know this as well as I do. Some people out there won't. Some people challenge us, and I'm okay with that. I don't mind so much whether you do or not. It's a good belief to have. Did you know that when you retire, stats have shown that your net wealth will be equivalent to the average of your 5 closest friends?
Mm-hmm. And I totally believe that.
So get this, team. Do me a favour right now as you're thinking this. Think about the 5 closest people that you have in your life that you spend the most time with. Now, think about them on a couple of levels. 1, how happy they are. 2, how wealthy they are. And that wealth is just the only reason I use wealth is because it's a measure. You can actually measure it. It's hard. Happiness, how do you measure happiness? It's only the way you feel when you're around them. So think about how happy they are and think about how wealthy they are. Now, you're the average happy of your 5 closest friends, believe it or not. That's just the way you end up. You're with happier people, guess what? Your happiness goes up. And then you're also as wealthy as your 5 closest friends. How does that all work out?
It does, and I think
message.
Well, it's just very evident to me, that, and we've talked a lot about, how the people that you are around, whether it's in work or your family or friends or colleagues or whoever, they do have a direct impact on the way that you react, behave, how well you sleep at night, how you wake up in the mornings. And I really think I can't stress enough how much I've really had to look at that in my life. Having positive people around, and then comparing it to people in your life that drain you and just they suck the life out of you, basically. And you can spend a whole lot of your life trying to please everybody, and this includes family. If you've got in-laws that don't like you, and you've spent your marriage trying to fit in and make them like you, and it can nearly kill you. You will never ever just make someone like you. If you can't be yourself and have them like you for the person that you are, then you just you avoid having them in your life. You just spend as little time as possible with them. It's just the way that it makes you feel. I have had people in my life that I have had a physical reaction to.
Really?
You can feel the anxiety. You can you can get a stomach ache. You can get heartburn from having them around. Even when, and they get to that they get to the point where they've been in your life or affected you so much that you feel that reaction. If you know you're going to run into them or see them, you actually feel that reaction before they're even in front of you, where you actually go, oh my God, I just don't know if I can do this. And
do this person.
Yeah, and and I know friends will go through low times, and I haven't been the easiest person to be around. Barb will attest to that in the last few weeks, just with a lot of stuff going on, and personally. But I think when you have a friend who is just reacting to something that's going on in their life, that's different to them being continuously. If you're there as a supporter because someone who's a friend is behaving differently, we'll be there for them and talk them through that. But if they're like that every day of their whole life and they're never going to change, and you get to choose to actually remove them from your life.
Have I mentioned the chairs?
Have we mentioned the chairs? Oh, sweet. Oh, here we go.
And I think, can I just say to the Lightbox, care factor for that noise is 0, because that's actually the people that are behind the bar that are actually moving those chairs around.
I really don't think they recognise how loud they actually are.
Well, it's not only that, I don't think they give a shit. maybe they just acclimatised to it. Maybe they're just conditioned.
I don't know what other type of chair. You probably wooden chairs would be great out here.
Anything that's not noisy.
Yeah, they're very
If I've
noisy.
got a noise meter out here, you'd need earplugs when you were sitting down, girl.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Oh, Donna Ellis is here.
And she's saying, nice thought, how happy and wealthy.
Oh, I've got the chairs again.
Roll chairs.
Yeah. And it's true, Donna.
Oh,
I
that's
think,
good.
they're moving a plate.
Now
They're
we've
moving
got
something else.
Now
An
we've got some
umbrella.
umbrellas that we can
Yeah,
use as
that's
well.
good.
Go over light box.
We love it here. We love you guys
We
at the
do.
Lightbox. We just don't like your chairs very much.
So let's get as well as people. I think there's
There's situations.
This is a bigger thing than just people who you
Exactly.
spend time with. So to me, poor old Jay. I should go and
She's right.
She's so tiny, Jay.
She's right.
left on a
She's
big
got
thing
it.
over there. So tell me, this is the way that I would interpret what are you fighting for. I'm going to give you another word for that. What's your purpose in life? Now, what's your big picture? Why are you here? And I wonder just how many people out there have actually got a purpose statement.
It's about finding how do you value yourself? Oh my God. They're rearranging the furniture, so this is a bad time to do this. Anyway, they're nearly finished. So it's how you actually, what value do you put on yourself? What value do you actually put on yourself? What do you want to spend your time on? What do you want people to actually get from you? And this is things like, and when we talk about what are you fighting for, not just being people in your life, if you're in a job and you've been there for 10 years and you believe that you have earned a pay rise, then you need to fight for the pay rise. You need to be able to prove to your employer and have the guts and intestinal fortitude to actually set a meeting.
They're going to move that.
Set a meeting with your boss. Oh, sorry, guys. Set a meeting. Oh, God. Okay, set a meeting with your boss and actually have that discussion with them. If you believe that you have brought value to the company that you work for,
and being able to demonstrate
and you
that.
can demonstrate that, and you truly believe that you are worth more money, then you need to have that conversation. It's the same as you're in a husband and wife situation. If you're doing all the work at home, and if you're doing all the washing, all the stuff with the kids,
like I do.
and I hope Julie Benny's on.
I do some stuff.
But you need to be able to have those conversations and actually say, if I'm not happy with a situation, if I don't bring it up personally, if I don't address it, if I don't actually say, I believe I'm worth more than being treated this way, then I need to address the situation. Because if you keep complaining, and I see this on Facebook all the time.
Really?
You know those people that put something on Facebook and it is just a dead set whinge about something? It's an absolute
And you don't know what it's about. Like someone will
scathingly.
say,
Oh yeah, there's all mixed
I'm bitter and
messages
twisted about this.
yeah, and I'm so pissed off, whatever
I'm so
else.
pissed off. Yeah.
So
I'm offended.
yeah, and
very
I
offended.
think a lot of that is, when there's drama and it's attention seeking, and you need to be able to address your issues without obviously telling. Did you just spill cream all over yourself?
Then there's 1,000 comments like, oh,
Yeah, I hope everything's all right.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
really
about
is.
you. Yeah, but you don't actually really know what's going on. And I'm not having a go at anyone in particular, and it's not a personal judgment. There are ways to deal with situations or people in your life. And if you're fighting for something that is a waste of time, that is not beneficial, that is not actually fighting for what your value of yourself is.
We've got to stand up and have a conversation about these chairs. We have to fight for these chairs.
Yeah, we're going to have to talk to
We're
these
going to have
guys
to.
after.
We're going to have to.
We're going to
That's
talk
been
to them.
pretty
We might actually replay our videos so they can actually hear how loud it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, we might make them watch the video. So.
Yeah, watch every single one of them.
Barb,
big
stop, Barb can't stop laughing. Yeah, you should be sitting here, Barb.
Can you just read Donna's out? Because I think that's
Okay, so
important.
Donna says, don't be afraid to have that conversation. I have decided to change my life to head in a more positive direction, and I feel that we are on different playing fields. I hope that you respect me enough to be honest with you. It is really important for my future. I still want to spend time with you or chat, but it may not be as often as we currently do. And
a
that's
nice way to
so
have a
honest.
conversation.
It is very honest and nice, and I think you can address things without it being a big shit fight. In most circumstances. So, oh my God, really?
Seriously.
Yeah.
Right,
We need to ask before we start the live if they're going to start
That's what
shifting furniture.
See,
Hey,
we've
Anne,
got to take
James Canendo.
before we start. You know what? I'm going to actually make a bold call here, and I know you're not going to like this. I reckon we need to go somewhere else because it's too loud.
Well, we can have a chat to them first because otherwise we're fighting for the wrong thing.
All right.
If we'd like the chairs changed and we say this has been our preferred place of
How long have we been
6
coming?
months. 6 months.
That's a long time, mate.
We have.
Maybe we just need to change anyway. But,
Well,
you know.
we just got to look at what we're fighting for.
What about
don't we?
Donna Ellis's new coffee shop?
Yeah, we can go down there.
Just a thought. Maybe we should go and do other Gladstone businesses every week.
Well, I've been doing heaps of lives
I know
around
you have,
town.
I
Yeah,
know,
so
but
yeah,
you
I know.
have.
You
You've
still
been
haven't been live on the page, but I'm still sharing these to our page. So, and if anyone missed it yesterday, just talking about what we're fighting for, I interviewed Jess, who is what did I say her title was?
Chairperson.
No, she's
Board
something.
director.
Yeah, board of director.
Manager.
I don't know. I can't remember her
Top dog.
title. I better
Top
not
dog.
follow the wrong thing. Just give me 1 second.
She runs Mission
she's the branch
Seafarers.
manager.
Branch manager.
She's the branch manager at Mission to Seafarers, and I tell you what, you talk about fighting for something. This woman is unbelievable.
She is fighting.
We get 60,000
No.
people come to our city on the ships every year.
60,000.
60,000 people come to our port every year on the ships, and the Mission to Seafarers look after the people that come in on the ships.
They're always full.
Watch the video,
I'm
guys,
serious.
because I'm serious. You will be blown away. I actually went down to a Mission to Seafarers event we held for Women Connecting Women a couple of months ago. I was like everyone else, used to drive past and just thought it was a big church where people go when they come off the ships.
There is a church in there.
There's a chapel in there, but the stuff that these guys and what Jess has done since she's become the branch manager and opening, they've got a souvenir shop. They give clothes to the people that come off the ships. A lot of times they arrive in port. She is a legend on it, and she is extremely passionate. She's very much into collaboration with other community groups and businesses. So I'm not going to bore you because I went through it all with her yesterday, but please watch that video on our page.
Seriously, I've done poos in there because I run past there.
Yeah.
At all times of the day and night, and there's always people in there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
There's a bar in there,
60,000
too.
a year.
You can get whatever you want in there.
Well, there's pool table. They have a lot of activities for the people that come in on the ships. But I'm telling you now, Jess is just kicking some major goals, and she fights for these people. Apart from the fact that they look after them when they come to port, a lot of these people come from third world countries. Mission to Seafarers go out and meet the ships. They interview all the people and catch up with. Well, they don't interview them. They have informal conversations with the people on the boats, the ships. They find out how they're being treated. They find out if they're being paid. Yeah, they find out if they're being paid the right pay rate. They talk to them about any medical issues. They get them medical help. What they actually do for these people is just unbelievable. They fight for their human rights, and you have to remember, guys, that we're a port city, and the 60,000 people that come in off those ships every year, our port depends on these people bringing stuff to us. One of the saddest things that I heard from Jess, they have a fleet of buses, and you'll see Mission to Seafarers written on the side. It's a service they offer the people on the ships. They take them down to get food at King Pora, the mall. They take them to different places around town when they're off the ship, because these guys are on the boat and girls are on the ships for 3 months, maybe more at a time, out in the middle of the ocean, away from their families, and they take them buses down to the mall. She said it's very, very distressing how many times these people actually get ostracised or abused because people think they're foreigners coming in to take over or whatever. And these are workers who are visiting our city, and Jess fights for their human rights and fights for them to be treated with respect, because a lot of them have nothing. They arrive here with 2 T-shirts and a pair of shorts. They go out on the boats, and they might find out tomorrow that they are leaving here and going to Japan, where it's freezing cold, and they've got no winter clothes. So, Chris Tame.
Clown.
They
Good on you, champ.
I love that I spend a fortune on my hair, and he only ever comments on your hair. Good on you, Tammy.
And Podgy Dave, Patrick Orry.
So please watch that video, because it's amazing. And if you're talking about people fighting for the right thing, then you've got to really appreciate what they do down there.
So talking about fighting for the right thing, we're talking about valuing yourself. I like that. I'm going to just change that up a little bit. I'm going to say value your contribution. Because
what are you contributing?
Look, I don't know. What are you contributing?
What are you contributing? Ask yourself that question.
That's right. And, well, I'm going to ask some people, are they contributing?
Are you contributing?
What? Are they contributing?
Are you contributing?
Because I think there's sort of two two types of people on the planet. There's the givers and the takers. I don't think there's much in between.
Can a taker become a giver then?
Absolutely.
There you go.
I reckon.
There you
And
go.
can a giver become a taker?
No, I don't believe that.
You don't reckon?
No, if you're naturally a giver,
You'll always be there.
you will. I believe you'll always
Chris
be a giver.
Butler.
Hey, Chris.
His wife, do you know Sunita Butler? She's
I do.
on Facebook all
I
the time.
do know
She's
Sunita.
a bit of a gypsy, I'm going to say that with love. She's a bit of a hippie
We've
girl.
talked about Sunita before.
We have. She does great things.
She does the oils and that, doesn't she?
I think so. She does some stuff, music and stuff. So givers and takers. So what value? It's like in our business, we only have a couple of mottos: legal, moral, and ethical, and do more than you get paid for. So, like if we invoice 3 days, we'll do 3 nights.
And it's about going that extra mile. And again, it's in our industry, in our businesses, and in any business really.
Yep.
It's about. I think it's about fighting for your client. You know, if I have somebody that puts their faith in me to sell their house, I don't just get a contract and then leave it be for the solicitors to work out. It's about working through that whole process. It's about fighting to make sure the deal goes ahead. It's about fighting to make sure that they get the best price. You know, and that's
look after afterwards.
Yeah, and that's all about the integrity and
You have
ethics.
high integrity.
I think you should do that regardless of whether you're a business owner or not. You know,
even if you're in a job. You talked about the pay rise discussion previously. The pay rise discussion is an interesting one because, you know, I've had that conversation with employees a lot over time. And first question that, like, I'm going to tell you, the people that are worth a pay rise don't ask for it. The people that aren't worth a pay rise do. So just so that you know, if you're out
that's
there,
not in all. I don't believe that's in all circumstances.
No,
Because I know
maybe
people
that's a
who've worked for a
generalisation.
shitty boss before.
yeah, who don't have the guts.
They don't. Well,
I'm just telling you my experience. So my experience is like,
that's probably because you're a giver, though.
Absolutely.
You would recognise that
And
before.
I'd probably give them a pay rise before they even ask.
Yeah.
And Alison, Phil, of course, he's on Carolyn Hill, and I
I
tried
have an
to.
itchy nose today for some reason.
Well, no, I had a bit of a
I
shock.
think it's this plant.
It might be too. It's the chairs.
I would have blamed me the chairs on my itchy nose.
I know that I was a bit slack with Alison recently. She didn't ask, and I said, "Shit, how come you haven't had a pay rise for 12 months?" And she said, "Oh, yeah, no, I was going to ask him." I said, "Just sort it out."
Was that
So-
Emily I saw this week got accepted into you?
Yes.
Yeah, so you're
that-
losing him.
Well, we may. We've got to work through that.
Okay.
Jen, we need to work through that one.
Phil, Carolyn,
So the
Trish
message
and Darren.
is, so
Hey, guys.
Trish and Darren Martin, God love them. This is Spears' mum, all the way from England.
Oh,
Chelsea,
we're going
in England. We're
global
going
again
we're
today.
going to England.
Hey, Carolyn. Is it cold over there?
Oh, need you ask.
I know. I just want to hear someone who's in cold weather.
Does it ever get hot over there? Is the question. Yeah, Spears' going back actually in January, so maybe that's what Carolyn's not supposed to know. But anyway, there you go. How it goes. I don't know. I'm just.
It wasn't a surprise.
And he was supposed to go to cricket with me. We have a yearly trip up to the cricket. He's booked a trip home over.
Well, like you should choose it. He's fighting for the right thing.
He is
He's picked
fighting
his
for
mum
it.
over
And
your
that's
cricket
right,
with you.
and he has too.
So,
Now, so what value you are adding to the planet? And I think, I talked before about having a purpose statement, and I think that everyone on the planet, this is just my perspective, needs like a true north. You know, like what is it that you really do? It's like when, you know, I've been to business seminars and they say, what business are you in? So you line up, and this is a good exercise, you line up in 2 lines, and the line moves one each time, and you sort of get a minute with each person. And in a minute, you've got to explain what your business does.
sounds like the speed dating we watched.
Oh, was that good?
Remember I said they
Yeah, you did.
had a minute with
Was it any
each.
good?
Oh, it was funny as.
Yeah. So this particular process is all about being succinct in what you do, right? And being able to articulate what you do on the planet in a minute. And I say even be quicker than that. Do it in and it's called an elevator pitch, right? And I think once you've got your elevator pitch right, you're probably halfway there. Because
You've got to actually put it into action. That's where
yeah, absolutely.
you can know what your direction you'd like to take, but actually getting off your butt and doing something about it is where most people struggle.
Yeah, you're right. I also think just being clear on it though too, like, you know, in a sentence. So we help leaders and teams become better versions of themselves and add more value to their business.
Do you find people struggle with that? Like if you sit with most people and actually say, what direction do you want to go in? You know, when you're a kid, everyone asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Journalist.
Is that what you said? Oh, there you go.
Now write books. Go figure.
That's not a journalist though.
I know.
That's an author.
Right.
Yeah. But if you ask someone as an adult, you know, what do they want to be when they grow up, or what do they want to, you know, what direction do they want to take? I really think most people struggle with that because it changes all the time.
I agree.
And do you know what? Funnily enough, prom week. Okay, so we've just come out of prom week. My daughter and I, my daughter's 20, so she's been out of high school for what, 3 or 5 years, something like that, 3 years. So Sarah and I were having a conversation this week because she's been doing all the makeups at Priceline for prom. And when we did our live last week, we were here and the Tallulah prom was setting up. And I had a conversation with my 20-year-old daughter, and she said, Mum, I remember clearly on that day when we graduated, she said, I thought I knew exactly that day where my life was going. I had a plan. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to move to Brisbane. I wanted to do this and that. She said, and as a teenager leaving school, I was so clear in what I wanted to do. She said, and now I look at all the friends that I know and I see that every single one of them, the plan that they had, has changed or altered in some way, and some of them haven't done one thing or haven't. And she said, and it's not that we haven't actually gone in a direction to do it. She said, it's just things change. She's now engaged to her high school sweethearts. You know, they've been dating since grade 9. She loves living out in the country, out at Calliope. She wanted to live in the big city. She said, there's still a part of me that craves wanting to, you know, go to New York or go to Brisbane but she said, I'm really, really satisfied and comfortable in where I am. And she said to me, I've never, ever been happier than where I am right now.
Great? And that's great. And all I say is that no matter what stage you are in life, no matter what it is you're doing at the moment, just be able to clearly articulate what you're doing for others and for the planet.
And I think the other thing is to not get overwhelmed and scared. If you, and what did I say last week about getting out of your comfort zone? You know, if you do have a plan and a direction, and you start taking that, that journey to get there, and it doesn't work out exactly the way you planned it, you know, just you've got to ask yourself, just take the trip. What's the worst thing that can happen? And just start working towards doing it.
Oh, absolutely.
Because having your elevator pitch and putting it into action to start things moving in that direction, you'll probably have crossroads.
I think we've crossed paths just for a sec. So when I say elevator pitch, I don't mean a future goal. You're thinking future goals, what you're going to do in the future.
So what would your elevator pitch be then, right now?
Better teams, better leaders, better teams, better business.
So it's more like a mission statement sort of thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So a mission statement.
You're talking vision, I'm talking mission.
Yeah.
So you're like, I get the goals, and I get like, I've still got heaps of goals, right? Oh, Chris Caruana.
Donna, I was going to be a primary school teacher.
So Julie Guinea too. I'll tell you Julie Guinea's story. We'd been married like 10 years, and then she said, I've got this I've always had this big dream.
Yeah.
We've been married 10 years. She said, I want to be a school teacher.
So she did it later?
Only 30 when she started.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
But I said, so I've known you for 15 years.
And you never
mentioned it before, ever. So that's interesting.
So we still have time yet, Donna?
That's right. So you and I, you're talking vision, right? And I get that.
Yeah.
Your vision's going to change.
So then tell me from a training perspective, if you're teaching people to do this, why is it important for people to have a mission statement then? From a training perspective?
It's a true north again, team, because if you're asking yourself, so for me, if I get a job, if I've got a decision to make in my business, right? The question is it making leaders and is it making teams better?
Okay, well, question for you then.
Yeah.
That's your business mission statement.
Yeah.
What's your personal mission statement?
To inspire, to engage, and to entertain.
There you go.
And that's what we do. We inspire, we entertain, and we engage.
And that's where it's finding just a few key words, isn't it? To actually
simple. Just simplify it. Be able to articulate it so that, you know, if someone asks you on a live, you can actually say that. But like this stuff here, I hope we inspire people. I hope we entertain. And it's like when I do public speaking training, I'm big on the entertainment piece. People get quite offended. They get offended. But you're not up there to entertain bullshit.
So if we're talking about fighting for things and like our take on that is obviously finding your purpose and you know, fighting to make that happen or to make sure you've got the people in your life that surround you that will help you make that happen. So just as a piece of advice, how would you tell people if you've decided that's your mission statement? What would be your next step? Like, how do you put that into your life as a person, like personally?
Yeah.
How do people put that into their life?
Integrate it, know it, believe it, and then start looking for opportunities to deliver it.
And do you look at what the roadblocks are?
Oh,
that's the toxic people, the clearing out things,
I think they're going to show up anyway.
the self-destructive behaviours or the toxic people, or
Here, do you want to go and find seriously? And this is a great exercise for people. So, well, let me ask you a question. So, you were talking about vision before. If you think if you've got a big goal for the future, do you go and tell everyone in your life about it?
depends what it is. See,
And
I'm a little bit of an oversharer.
right.
I have to admit, I'm a bit of an oversharer.
Yeah.
But there's certain things, like my weight loss surgery.
Who did you tell about?
I only told my parents and my sisters, pretty much my closest family, until my 12-month anniversary when I had.
So they didn't even. No one had even known.
Nobody knew that I'd had the surgery,
They
and
just
I
thought
told
you were
them.
getting skinny.
Yeah, and I didn't lie. I just said to people, I'm just eating less.
I'm losing weight.
I just said I'm eating less,
Good
which
on
was
you.
not a lie.
Okay.
Now the reason I didn't.
Okay. So, right. So this is where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
Right? So why didn't you?
So the reason I didn't, I had
Can
been.
I have a guess?
Go
Can I
on.
have a guess?
Yep.
Because they're going to bag the bejesus out of you.
Partly.
Yeah.
So I had been on a million diets, and I can tell you now, I could write a list, 12 foolscap pages of every diet I had ever tried and every exercise and whatever lifestyle changes that I had tried.
Yeah.
Every single diet I had ever been on, I always had people say, should you be eating that? How much weight have you lost? There was those questions constantly thrown at you. And it wasn't that I didn't want people to ask the questions, because it was such a massive step, like weight loss surgery.
Big job.
It's a huge, huge decision to have 85% of
wouldn't-
your stomach
I wouldn't
removed.
do it.
You can't have it.
I'm running.
You look
I
fantastic.
don't get that again. And I'm not going to get that.
So the reason I left it till my 12-month anniversary, I had mentally and physically come far enough after my journey, and I fought like hell for 12 months. It is not an easy decision. It's not an easy path to take. It's not the cheater's way out. You know, the naysayers and people who are against people having surgery to lose weight they're not educated and they don't understand.
They don't get it.
I don't get angry at people who tell me it's a cheater's way out. They just are not
That's okay.
educated. They don't know what I've been through. They don't know.
They don't know the history. They haven't walked in your
Well, they
shoes.
don't actually
Guy.
know. I didn't know.
They don't.
I didn't know. I researched it for 2 years
Yeah.
before I made the
But
step
they
to
don't
do
have
it.
30 years worth of bad karma from being overweight either.
But they also don't understand the surgery. And when you sit and explain it to them and you educate them,
Yeah.
it's my fight. I chose to take the journey, and don't think for 1 second I did it just off the cuff. I did a lot of research. I met with a lot of people I knew that had had the surgery.
Give me all the love.
Thank you, whoever that was.
Me too.
I had met with a lot of people. I read a lot. I went on a lot of forums. I researched the hell out of it. And when I made the decision to do it, I could go in there with conviction. And conviction is one of my favourite words.
And that's the thing about this purpose and mission. When you believe it, and that's conviction is strong belief.
And by the time I reached the point at my 12-month anniversary, I did a big coming out post on Facebook, and I knew that I could handle then any
You were ready
questions.
for it.
The reason I went public, and there's a lot of people who've had this surgery who are scared. They're scared to go public because they're worried. Oh, definitely. And I understand that. I completely understand that.
Okay.
Because there's people who don't want to be judged for making the decision, and it's got to be their decision to go public.
Whereas, see, for me, I'd tell the world about it.
Yeah,
I'd
but
say, guess what?
we're different to
right.
other people.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
So
I did it because I knew I was well known. I knew I was a public figure, and I knew that if I had found a solution to the problem of not being able to lose weight, it was time to now step up and fight for other people who had struggled like I had. And if I could put my message out about what I had been through and why I made the decision,
great.
and also be very public about the fact that it is a lifestyle change and you have to still watch everything you eat, and you still have to look after yourself.
And you still drink heaps of booze?
Have we met? Really?
Good call.
How many weeks since Mason Rack?
I know you're
Mr.
drunk and
Angela.
loud.
Oh,
You were drunk and loud.
hello, Zachy, where are you?
He's driving. We couldn't keep them up to you.
Oh, stop
You're
it.
thirsty.
Stop
I
it,
thought,
stop
shit, your stomach must have grown.
You can. I choose
Anyway.
not to drink. I don't drink through the week. I just drink on the
Oh,
weekend.
yeah. And you
So-
make up. Don't you?
What did Donna say there? Stick to your guns when
Yeah.
it's not what
What
you
you
want,
want.
regardless of how many times Grandma asks if you are going back
That's
to finish
right,
studying. Exactly.
right. You've
And
got to do what
this
suits
is
you.
what I'm saying.
No, that's right. But see, herein lies the message. So you asked me a question, which I can't remember, but I answered the question with a question. And my question to you was, do you tell people when you set a vision and a mission? Because all of a sudden, here's the deal. Like, for example, Sarah, she had this big vision.
Mhm.
Right now, it's changed.
Which I think most people do the day they leave high school.
I don't know about high school. I've still got big visions.
Yeah.
I still the world Australia's #1 leadership coach.
So do you share those with other people?
Happy to. I'm happy to tell everyone out there right now. Within 5 years, Australia's #1 leadership coach. Let's go.
Hang on. Now we got motorbikes.
Not just chairs. We've got motorbikes.
Oh, there. Grab him.
There's the boss. Oh no, we should interview him on stage. He's going over to have a very serious meeting.
Yeah, we'll catch him later.
Or
Yeah.
Or we just talk with our feet. But, so we've also got big goals and big visions, right? I'm a believer in telling the world about it. I say tell everyone because they hold you accountable. As many people as you can. That's my gut feel. But a lot of people don't do that because guess what? I might not achieve that goal if I don't. Or people probably
fear of failure.
That's right. And
fear of being judged.
Yeah, and that's probably not a fear that I have when it comes to sharing my visions, right? Because I want people to.
But that's because you believe them so. I think it's conviction. I think you believe so strongly that you will achieve that. That you, with conviction, you say what you're going to do. And like I said, a lot of things I do. A lot of things I will let people know what my vision and goals are. But there's certain things, obviously, that I and probably the weight loss surgery is the biggest thing that I've ever not shared. But now I'm making up for the fact that I was comfortable to not tell anyone for a year, and it was because I didn't want anybody to. I had the blinkers on. I had a complete focus that for the first 12 months I was 100% focusing on following the very basic rules and making it work, because I thought there's nothing left after this. Like this is like the ultimate. If this doesn't work, then I'm going to be a beast for the rest of my life. Obese. Not a beast. Obese. Obese. So I think when you have a big decision to make, the conviction is the biggest thing. If you don't truly believe that you can actually do it, and you're always going to have fear, but it's about that last week talking about getting out of your comfort zone.
Tony Noyes, how are you, brother?
Tony, I think I spoke to Tony this morning. He's a good guy. You need insurance? Ring Tony.
That's right. Now we better start wrapping up because it's coming up to 40 minutes. I think your vision or your mission are worth fighting for. That's my gut.
I think so.
And I'll tell you why. Because your vision is for you, and your mission is for other people.
That's right.
Right. Your vision's for you. You can fight. Remember, you said before, value yourself, and that's actually that vision piece. You've got to have a vision of who you're going to become. It's like setting a goal. People think they set goals to achieve the goal. That's not right. You set goals to become the person who can achieve the goal.
Yes.
You don't have the goal if you could do it now.
Yeah.
So Sarah will have a goal of going to New York. Either now she doesn't either have the money or the time or the reason or whatever, for example.
Yeah.
But there'll be a time when she's your age, when she's a real estate mogul or a teaching mogul, whatever she does, and she's got all those choices and the time that she needs and that she requires. Right, so she'll become that. She'll grow into that person. This leadership coach, at the moment, I wouldn't have a clue what Simon Sinek does. For example, he's the world's probably leading leadership guy. Him, John Maxwell, and there's one or two others. So the reason you go and the reason you have a vision is you can grow and become the individual that can deliver on that. Now, the mission statement. That's why mission is more in the missions now. Mission is who you are, not what you're going to become. Who you are now.
You think setting those mission and visions for yourself or your business, they help you to fight harder.
I reckon.
And they help you focus on what to fight for.
And they're your true north, I think.
Well, that's exactly right.
What do I do? Is it worth going after? Absolutely.
I might. I'm going to just read I'll read the post that actually prompted today's live, guys, on this Facebook page. It says, I once asked a very successful woman to share her secret with me. She smiled and said to me, I started succeeding when I started leaving small fights for small fighters. I stopped fighting for those who gossiped about me. I stopped fighting with my in-laws. I stopped fighting for attention. I stopped fighting to meet people's expectations of me, which is a huge one. I stopped fighting for my rights with inconsiderate people.
Wow.
I stopped fighting to please everyone.
True.
I stopped fighting to prove they were wrong about me. I left such fights for those who have nothing else to fight.
Nice.
And I started fighting for my vision, my dreams, my ideas, and my destiny.
Future.
The day I gave up on small fights is the day I started becoming successful and so much more content. Some fights are not worth your time. Choose what you fight for wisely. So that is what we were talking about today. Have a vision, have a destiny, have a dream, have a goal, and that's what you need to be fighting for.
I love it, man.
It is. It's awesome.
Yeah,
It's and putting those things into place to make sure that you actually achieve them.
And put them out in the future. So I like Ross says, there's a lot of people out there when they set a goal, they're very careful who they do. Like you said, if I said to you, would you tell people about your goals? And you're very specific in what you said, depends what the goal is. 99% of people say depends who it is I'm telling. Just, you know what I mean, just from experience.
Definitely.
And I get both of those. And there are times that I'm pretty careful too. In saying that, like you said, once you're convicted, once you just believe deep in your heart
Conviction.
that you can't fail, you can't fuck this thing up, excuse the language. So it might take you more than 5 years, maybe 10, and that's okay. You know, it doesn't matter. It'll happen eventually. And so,
and I think one of the biggest things, I've been to so many conferences and everyone says, write down your goals, stick them on the fridge, put them everywhere. I just don't know whether you really, not everyone needs to do that. I think in here, if you have conviction and you put a plan in place, but you've got to know what you want first. You have to talk to yourself and say, if I don't want, to have that person in my life anymore, if I want a better job, if I want a promotion, if I want a better relationship with my children, that's what you have to do. You put a plan in place and make sure you fight for that and
take action.
Well, going back to what we said last week, a lot of it involves getting out of your comfort zone. You've got to get past that fear and actually make it happen, and I think that's the biggest thing with you as being the person that you are, knowing clearly what your mission and vision are, both personally and in your business. I think that's what helps you actually put that plan in place.
Probably.
Yeah.
And you're the same. You've got pretty clear bit of clarity on what you want to do.
And there's always things that come into your life, those roadblocks. That there's always going to be something that actually.
And that's what I said. Like you asked the question before, do you identify those? And I sort of try not to. Like I'm the optimist, the eternal optimist. Nothing will ever go wrong. Like nothing. So I put in a proposal the other day, and I was talking to a guy about it. We put in this proposal, and he said we might not get it. And I said,
not an option.
That's what happened. Like, and I don't
never give up.
I don't think we will.
But do you reckon he's put it out to the universe?
Well, probably. And that's what I said to him. You just like
put the kibosh on us.
Oh, I know. And so I think there's this optimistic element of life, and they say you shouldn't be too optimistic because you just rose-colour everything.
Plus, you don't want to be constantly let down.
And that's right.
Yeah.
And I probably do get that a bit. I probably feel.
So you're surprised if something doesn't come off because you just truly believe that it's going to happen.
I just expect the best.
Put it out.
And
Julie Guinea. Oh, I'm glad you've come on just before we finish.
Is this the first time
you'll be
Julie
interested
Guinea
to watch
has ever
this?
been on?
No, she's been on it.
Has she? Oh, okay.
But you need to watch the start of this because apparently he does everything around the house.